Turn it off. They can't help themselves, can't they? They just can't help themselves from lying about everything. They can't help themselves even if the information is staring at them right in the freaking face. When we're finding out about this Charlie Kirk assassinator, this Charlie Kirk killer, Tyler Robinson, such a plain name, the internet sleuths are doing their thing. And they're pulling up old stuff about Tyler. And we're finding out more information about this. But just yesterday, leftists were taking their victory lap like they think they already won. They think this guy is a right-wing nut job. They think he grew up in a very conservative, religious background family. But the more information we find out, the more we figure out maybe this kid isn't exactly who they thought they were. See, they're basing on this whole thing of him being a right-winger off a few pictures. Because that's how you put together an entire narrative based on 2 pictures. They pulled up an old picture of him going trick-or-treating. Which I don't know how old you have to be to trick-or-treat, but it definitely, he's a lot older than he was in this picture. So there's an old picture of him trick-or-treating wearing a Trump costume, but it looks like he's riding him, and his brother looks like he's in a hunting outfit, and then he looks like he is riding Trump, and therefore that makes him MAGA. They were using this picture to prove that he is full MAGA. They were creating an entire narrative. They were lying. And then I saw this being passed around, which this is one of the worst I've ever seen for an entire narrative being built on. They pulled up this voter registration from somebody named Tyler Robinson, because Tyler Robinson is an incredibly unique name. Unique New York. Tyler Robinson is a very unique name. How many white dudes are named Tyler with the last name Robinson in Utah? Probably hundreds. This guy, he probably doesn't have an email, tylerrobinson@gmail.com. So this came up, and every single leftard known to mankind was posting this. See, he's affiliated with the Republican Party, and it was quickly debunked very quickly after. See, I had many tweets pulled up regarding this insane narrative being pushed that he was affiliated with the Republican Party, and all those tweets were deleted. Yeah. Nothing says I know what I'm doing with my life than deleting tweets quickly to prove that I'm not completely wrong and completely insane and stuck in my own biased bubble. Shout out to everybody stuck in their own biased bubble. I think it's a very healthy place to be. Don't actually look for facts. Stay in your bubble and guard it at all possible costs. So the leftards were pushing this narrative that he was affiliated with the Republican Party, though it was completely debunked very quickly, saying he was actually unaffiliated. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter about the facts. It didn't matter about anything going on. They ran with that narrative because they felt like they just won. They just scored a touchdown. Oh my God, in your face, right-wingers. Deal with this one. See, I told you your people have a problem. Oh, but the old rule, just give it a couple more hours. Give it 24 hours. Give it 34 hours. Give it 40 hours. Did you see the Cenk Uygur meltdown the other day? Yes, I did. Are you talking about Piers Morgan? Fantastic. So they ran with this narrative, and it was plastered everywhere. And every news article that's a left-wing news site decided to run with this. Charlie Kirk fatally shot by fellow conservative at university event. Fellow conservative. Why he's a fellow conservative? Because some BS voter registration that you could easily make on Google. Also, how many Tyler Robinsons are in Utah, and also this picture. This is your entire narrative. But they didn't stop. The infamous left-wing account known as Anonymous, who's supposed to be totally non-biased and just like an amazing hacker group, decided to take this picture of Tyler Robinson, who is in his dorm room wearing just a red t-shirt, and decide to share this like it's a real picture. They created an entire picture and plastered Trump on his shirt, and people were sharing this. Okay, I don't think people understand how many boomers or older generations don't understand how good AI is. And so they see pictures like this, and now this is a left-wing talking point. Now this is a left-wing talk. Have you seen the picture of Tyler Robinson wearing the MAGA shirt? I'm telling you, these MAGA people, they're in their own bubble. They don't understand what's actually happening. They're controlling the narrative as much as they possibly can because they don't have to do any self-reflection if they can control the narrative. So this picture was being passed around of Tyler being in this MAGA Trump shirt. Even Gronk himself couldn't figure it out. Charlie Kirk's fatally shot by fellow conservative at Utah University event. Gronk, terrible job, AI. AI is not coming for all of our jobs, apparently. And it was quickly debunked, and we actually found out the real Tyler Robinson was unaffiliated party member. But they ran with it anyways. So people were looking up his parents' names, and they found out his parents were actually Republican Party. Oh, okay. Yeah. So if he has Republican family members, that makes him Republican. Dirt. Come on. As if some kid in his early 20s, early 19 years old, didn't go against his parents' wishes or change the narrative. Again, I grew up in a household. My mother grew up forcing me to listen to Rush Limbaugh every single day, which, look at me now, Mom. And then my father was listening to NPR. It's like, just because your family is something doesn't make you something, especially when you become, I don't know, a man. Things change. Things change. You develop your own ideologies, especially with the internet. You can really research a lot of things and don't have to ask your parents for questions. Nobody asks their parents for questions anymore. They just go to ChatGPT and say, my mom thinks this. She's a right-wing extremist. Should I think otherwise? Hey, everyone, and Derek. Fake media is a disgrace 100%. So they ran with this narrative regardless because they found out that the parents were obviously conservative, religious background. But again, you can have great parents. You can have a religious background. You can have a great growing up, and your kid can still turn out to be a piece of crap. Because they make choices when they get old. I see it all the time. Ask any parent with a drug-addicted child. Ask them how much they blame themselves in which they could change the way they do stuff, even if they do parenting well. Sometimes the kid just grows up and makes choices for their own. My parents are not in control of my actions. When I get to a certain age, it becomes my choice in which how I want to live. Anonymous plus feds equals gay. Yeah, exactly. So they ran with this narrative. Charlie Kirk's family, grandma says, family is all MAGA. See right-wingers? It's one of you. You guys deal with it. This is your own problem. I'm even hearing crazy things like the guy that shot, Dylan Roof that shot Donald Trump is also MAGA. Yeah. He's so MAGA that he couldn't handle himself, so he wanted to take out Trump. Okay. Yeah. Tyler Robinson is so MAGA that he didn't know what to do. He just decided to shoot Charlie Kirk. This is like the dumbest logic ever. You would think it would be the opposite, wouldn't it? Oh, well, he's crazy, so that means he'll do crazy stuff. Or he wasn't right-wing enough. You're hearing that. So the left wing was doing these victory laps, like they've won some kind of 4x100 race right in front of our faces. People like Brooklyn Dad, who's one of the most cringiest accounts to follow. Well. Tyler Robinson, the person who shot and killed Charlie Kirk, not trans. Oh, we're about to get that in a second. Not an immigrant. Not a radical leftist. What makes you say that so quickly? He's just a straight white male. Where are the apologies? I can't hear it over the crickets. Yeah, because this is what a conservative looks like. And see, this is the problem. Don't judge a book by its cover. Not every person that looks conservative is conservative. Sometimes they change. And sometimes pictures are old. Sometimes pictures change a person. If you take a picture of me when I was 16 versus me now at 55, I look different. I look a lot different. I was just literally posting a shit tweet about him. This guy's the worst human alive. Are you talking about me or the killer? Turns out he's gay and he must be a Dem. We're getting to that in a second. And then the narrative started twisting a little bit. See, it went from he was a full MAGA, a full Republican, and then all of a sudden there's this weird twist. Oh, he's a groiper. Oh, he's one of Nick Fuentes' followers. He's part of the Groyper War. He's a Groyper kid. He has to be a Groyper kid. I'm sure as heck don't look right wing. Yes, you do, Violet. Oh, the Brooklyn guy? Oh, yeah, the Brooklyn guy's, he's like everything I hate about that generation and the way they tweet. He's one of the people. So when stuff was coming out about the killer, he's one of the people, and I saw this like over and over again, that even I posted it today on Twitter. The right wing is awful quiet today. I'm like, no, we weren't. We're all over Twitter. What are you talking about? We're not awful quiet. So Tyler Robinson was a Groyper, says Julia. First radicalized by his MAGA Leo parents. Leo, like were they born in August or something? Okay. What? The Leo parents. He followed Laura Loomer and Nick Fuentes. Where's the proof of that? There's literally no proof of that. I love these people that just say these things. He followed Laura Loomer and Nick Fuentes, who called Charlie Kirk a fascist traitor after he pushed the release of the Epstein files. What? It's like,
I have to ask you this because
oh crap, it's just going off.
What this means. A lot of people.
Okay, so these people, I swear, are just nuts. MAGA protecting a PDF from release of Epstein files equals Charlie Kirk's death. So they were posting up old pictures of him as a kid, as if like to paint this narrative. Yeah, because when you're 5 years old, you have chosen your political affiliation. Yeah, ask this kid. This is why, like, I mean, it makes sense because leftards want kids this old to be voting. They're like, what are your political beliefs? I'm Republican, and I'm never going to change ever, ever, ever. He kind of looks like Nancy Mace. Chris says, the older I get, the more Bible proves itself correct. Let's go. Disco Puss killer got fired from Chuck E. Cheese and went off. Don't even try to affiliate me with this killer. Don't even try to do that. Using this picture of him as a child. And this is where it gets like, this is the Groyper portion. So he has this picture of him, I don't know, when he's like 12, 13. And look at him. He's bending down. He looks like a frog. He's a Nick Fuentes fan. What? And so the Groyper narrative was released. The Groyper narrative was released. See, look. It's literally the same thing. And if he's doing it, he can't be doing it on accident. Or he can't just be getting down low for a shot or trying to look cool as like a 12-year-old dork. We were all 12-year-old dorks at some point, and a lot of us would do stupid hand signals and do little things when we were 12 too. Just doesn't mean he's an automatic Groyper or even knew what that was at that age. So the narrative was then shifted. He wasn't just MAGA. He was a MAGA Groyper. And then I saw this post being shared around on social media everywhere. Then this is what I love. So the entire narrative was from that kid bending down like a frog, and also this. Groyper confirmed. Nick is so effed, it's unreal. This is on 4chan, and this is a screenshot from 4chan, and this was from one member. Therefore, he has to be a Groyper because this one person said it. He has to be. And then this person goes on, so is he our guy? It's amazing what people believe, dude. It's so amazing. It's so amazing what people, the smallest bits of information. Oh my God. A couple of screenshots. He has to be a Groyper. Look, he's like sitting down. And then look, there's an anonymous from 4chan. It has to be true. It has to be true. And then people were posting all these things. Tyler Robinson, who turned himself in for murdering a right-wing activist, Charlie Kirk, was not just acting on left-wing ideals, but was deeply influenced by far-right Groyper movement led by Nick Fuentes. Robinson grew up in a MAGA household. His father was a police officer, and he was surrounded by guns at a young age. Yeah, because left-wing lunatics hate guns. Wrong. They love guns. They love guns. Because they know what guns are used for. A revolution. So, if I know I have some older people that watch this show, just because they're left-wing doesn't make them anti-gun. Okay? Violet says, I got someone to delete their post about this Slav costume. Squatting Slavs in track suits is a non-political meme. Exactly. Yeah. What does he just look like? What is it got? A Goipnik? A Gopnik? Or something like that? Was a Russian Gopnik? Then he goes on to say, when police examined the ammunition, they discovered Robinson had scratched Bella Ciao onto a casing. Though the song began as an anti-fascist anthem, that's what it is. It's also been co-opted by online ecosystem of groypers and incels. And the craziest thing is people were sharing this one Spotify playlist that was called Far Right America First playlist. And there was one song of Ciao Bella. And so they created this entire narrative that this is like a right-wing anthem. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. I thought, the left has like this like weird fixation that they think they're the smart ones. And I think that's insane. They think like, oh, we're the most educated, and therefore that makes us the smartest people. Wrong. Wrong. That's arrogance. That's not education. That's different. Even CNN was like, is it a groyper thing? And I can't believe my eyeballs. But Miss Leftard herself, with the biggest glasses that are going halfway down her nose, which I totally respect, who looks a little high. God, those eyes. She's got the sleepy eye syndrome. I respect that, though. She even pushes back on the whole narrative that it's not the groypers. So listen to this.
I have to ask you this because a lot of people are asking what this means. A lot of people are talking about this word goiper. What does that even mean?
I love that people even have to ask that question these days. It's like my mom called me like, "What's a groyper?"
People are asking what this means. A lot of people are talking about this word goiper. What does that even mean? And could this man be one of them?
Yeah. All this stuff used to be so fringe, and now it's like at the center of politics, and it's a little bit difficult for me to believe.
It is a little wild.
But
it's so wild.
Groypers are the fans of the far-right podcaster Nick Fuentes. He's been around for a very long time. He was at Charlottesville. He was at Jan 6.
Nick Fuentes? Oh, I'm supposed to hate him, so tell me more. Oh, he has to be a groyper then for sure.
Fuentes has long had a feud with Charlie Kirk, or had. He would show at his events. His fans would show up at their events, and they would ask Kirk leading questions intended to trigger Kirk into moving further to the right, particularly on immigration and gay rights.
Okay, so you're saying that groypers are further right than Charlie Kirk, and so therefore Charlie Kirk's pretty moderate? Oh my God, weird.
So Fuentes has totally disavowed this violence. He made a very forceful statement against that last night. But people are trying to tie this shooter to the gropers because, and this is a little obscure, he posed in a squat in an Adidas tracksuit for a Halloween costume. His mom posted that he was being a man in a meme. Yeah, people have seen pictures of Pepe the Frog associated with the alt-right, dressed in that same tracksuit doing the squat. However, that meme itself is a reference to Eastern Europeans posing like that in Adidas tracksuits. So, again, it's like grasping at...
Yeah, it's also mixed.
Yeah, it's grasping at straws. Congrats, you're not... Intercastle says, the modern academia is a joke, bro. Producing absolute morons, intelligence without wisdom, idiots. Dude, at this day and age, you don't have to go to college unless you need to go to college for some kind of license. There is no point. You can go online and read everything. It's free. And so much of the lectures from some of these amazing institutions are also free online. With YouTube and ChatGPT and Google, and you can just read Google academia articles, there's no excuse for you to be an idiot. Yeah, I said it. Yeah. Where's Swill picking out a furry outfit for his... Yeah, I hope so. He better be. I'm freaking pissed. So even CNN is like, no way, this is not a groyper thing. No way, it's not a groyper thing. But they're still not claiming him. So even though the Tyler affiliation with being a Republican has been debunked, yes, his family is MAGA or maybe allegedly MAGA, it doesn't, just because your grandpa's MAGA doesn't make you MAGA. As if the kid has no opinions for himself or didn't go off to college or trade school. Go off to college for a semester, apparently, then transfer to a trade school in which he lived with somebody, which we'll get into in a second. As if this kid had no idea of how to think through issues himself or create a self-narrative. Famous man Harry Sissignon, who's basically a paid operative for the DNC, allegedly, says, grifters like this are doing such a disservice to this country, we have no idea whether this guy was left-wing, far-right, or something else. Now we don't have an idea. Okay, because before we did have an idea. Now we don't have an idea. Ergo, creating this illusion that we have no idea. Or something else. There's conflicting evidence and authorities haven't confirmed anything. Let's wait for the official info. Just stick to the tired lies. Derek Evans says Tyler Robinson is a left-wing extremist. Tyler Robinson is a left-wing extremist. Tyler Robinson is a left-wing extremist. Quit trying to gaslight us. As if there's no information. But there is information. There is information about this guy. And I keep going back to the stuff that was written on the casings, apparently. This is more telling about his ideological preferences than anything else. I think more than who he dated, more than his roommate situation. If we just stick to the casings, it tells you everything. And keep in context, he executed Charlie Kirk in front of hundreds of college students and for the world to see. Keep that in context. On the casings, he wrote, "Hey fascists, catch." Hey fascists. This isn't a right-wing person. If he was right-wing, he would say, "You're not fascist, be more fascist like me," or some crap. Yeah, because all these right-wingers hate fascism. No. It's the left wing that's been calling the right fascist with every step of the way. So it's an obvious indication. I'm not even talking about the song. The funniest thing he wrote on the casings is, if you read this, you're gay. That's kind of funny. But the thing he also writes is, notice his bulges. Ooh-wee. What's this? It's a reference to furry culture. And I don't know many right-wingers who are into furries. I just, is there like a furry chapter in TPUSA? No. Is there a furry chapter in the Republican Party that I just don't know about that I need to be a part of? This is not a right-wing thing. Being anti-fascist, saying fascists catch this while executing somebody live, and talking about furry culture. I mean, I feel like that's all you have to lean on to understand what this guy is about. Violet says, I'm honestly impressed with this mousy chick explaining groypers. Yeah, me too. Mostly definitely he is they, them. Maybe he was just American. What? The bullet casings don't say monolabra, don't tread on me. Yeah, exactly. And, I feel like people are just like throwing out the bullet casings. If you take time to write on the bullet casings, you're trying to push a message. This isn't an accident. You can't go online and order, hey fascists, catch this, already pre-written on your bullet casings online. That's not a thing. He took time out to do it. And it's not hard to write it on brass, okay? Like those people that saying that it is hard. And putting stuff like furry culture crap. And people are wondering, like, why? What's the obsession with the ooey? And this tweet from Pericles said this on September 12th. Notice his bulge, ooey, means that Tyler Robinson is a chaser, also known as a gamp. He is a man who is sexually attracted to transgenders. Now, this guy said this a few days ago, and people were like, interesting. So there is some sort of connection with trans. And then we found out today. And then today rolled around. We found out today many things. And Tim Cass also puts out, Tyler Robinson was allegedly involved in multiple Antifa discords. Oh. So the internet sleuth, the internet guy online has a lot of connections. And don't ever forget this is from The Guardian. High school friends who asked to remain anonymous said that Robinson was pretty left on everything. So even in high school, the dude was pretty far left. It wasn't just he went to college and got radicalized. I'm seeing a lot of people on the right say that sort of thing because it fits our narrative of that college is insane, but probably only made his views on some things get more ingrained in some ways. But said Robinson's high school friends who asked to remain anonymous said that Robinson was pretty left on everything and was the only member of his family that was like that, really leftist. And that's from The Guardian, a left-wing institution. And then we find out today this information regarding his partner. Now, for many of you, I don't know how many people are in my chat are from the older generation, but partner means the person you're dating. Okay, this isn't your bestie. This isn't your partner in crime. This isn't a PIC. Nobody says, the Generation Z doesn't like to use the word boyfriend and girlfriend because it establishes some sort of ownership over someone. We're not boyfriend or girlfriend. That's cisgender normative stuff. We're partners. It's 50-50 in our relationship, okay? So we find this out today. Fox News breaks this down. Now, this is Fox News. This isn't me reporting. This is Fox News.
Fox News alert, FBI.
Ooh, Fox News alert. Can we get a Fox News alert? Hit him with a Fox News alert one more time. Hit him with a Fox News alert. Thank you.
Fox News alert, FBI sources tell Fox News Digital that the man charged with assassinating Charlie Kirk was living with a transgender partner. Bureau officials confirmed that Tyler Robinson was in a romantic relationship with someone transitioning from male to female. They say that individual is fully cooperating with their investigation, claims to have had no idea of Robinson's plans, and is not currently accused of any criminal activity.
Now, we don't know. There's been reports of him making phone calls after committing this horrible act and also talking to people on his Discord and asking for someone to go pick up the rifle. So I'm curious to find out if he was really just a lone wolf or he had some sort of help. Or he did it by himself and then he tried to get his friends involved because he was freaking out and he's like, I just did the thing that we've been talking about and I don't know. Like, I don't know what actually happened, but people know more information and we're going to find out. If you read this, you're gay. Harry Kissinger is a catcher. They give their mind up in a fit. So this guy was dating somebody transitioning. Ergo, that gives you plenty of information of why he probably did it. Because Charlie Kirk is trying to take out trans people or some kind of crap of which they believe. So he is in fascist Discord, Antifa Discords. He writes on the bullet, hey, fascist cats this. And he's a guy that is into going after, he's a chaser. Known as a gamp. God, all these words. I don't know how you kids put up with this anymore. Ooh, baby, can't wait till you cut it off. Can I watch? Yeah. Yeah. Dude, you guys in the younger generations who are just like, oh, yeah. Tyler Robinson, he's a gamp. What's a freaking gamp, dude? It's a man who's sexually attracted to transgenders. It's a gamp. Back in my day, we used to call him gamp. We just had one word. It was unnatural. That's all we said. And I think, so even Alex Jones finds out about this information before he gets on his flight. And can you imagine being on this flight with Alex Jones in front of you recording a video for InfoWars? That would get me so jacked up. It would be like a top 10 best moment of my life. Just seeing this happen. Also can't believe there's a guy like passed out while Alex Jones is talking.
Emotional damage.
Time to wake up, man. Michael says, I don't get it at all. Dude, you're not alone, man. You're not alone, dude. Gamp is such a weird word. Okay, even Alex Jones responds to this in a right way.
Well, Alex Jones was right again. Tyler Robinson.
I love when people say that kind of stuff. Guess what? I've always been right. I'm right all the time. Looks like I'm right again. I think we were all right on this one. I think all of us have sniffed it out, as they say.
Well, Alex Jones was right again. Tyler Robinson living with a trans woman, man to woman, showing off for the gal. And that's
Showing off for the gal. It's so funny. Oh, God, that's so messed up, though. Showing out for the gal.
Alex Jones was right again. Tyler Robinson living with a trans woman, man to woman, showing off for the gal. And that's what the family told him and what the ATF knew. Just all that wasn't released yet.
Yeah.
So when all of you said I was wrong, Steve Ricardo was wrong, you got egg on your faces again.
Yeah.
This is trans rage. This is the tip of the spear. This is the left's death cult, and more is coming. That's a fact. Israel couldn't be behind all these attacks at Catholic churches and stuff. It's the trans, okay? It's a serious issue. God bless Charlie Kirk.
I just think it's like, I'm not even focusing on trans, man. I'm focusing on the left wing being incredibly violent. It has to be them. You know, the entire left wing is absolutely nuts. And the way that they have responded to this public execution is actually even more insane. The way they've responded to this public execution is even crazier, and how emboldened they feel in which to respond this sort of way. Most unhinged courting ritual? Yeah, it totally feels like it. It's a guy, not a girl. Exactly. Exactly, dude. Exactly. Exactly. And the great, I like Scott Adams here. Scott Adams is the freaking man. He goes on to tweet this morning saying, when Charlie Kirk's story first broke, I unfairly leapt to the assumption the shooter was probably trans. Now I feel terrible for making the assumption because the killer was only the boyfriend of a trans. I was way off. Yeah. And then he goes on to say, I am unfairly leaping to the assumption the boyfriend is on antidepressants. Yeah, dude. I was unfairly. I feel terrible for making the assumption because the killer was only the boyfriend of the trans. I was way off. Honestly, it's so depressing. It's right in front of our faces, and people are acting like it's not even real. Laura Loomer goes on the report. This is the Instagram account that belongs to Lance Twiggs, who is apparently the boyfriend, allegedly. The transgender furry boyfriend of Tyler Robinson, the man who murdered Charlie Kirk, the bio says friendly neighborhood licensed to fish finder. In the trans community, especially among trans women, fish is a slang for the term that refers to a trans woman and drag queens who pass well as women. The trans community is disgusting. These people are violent and vulgar, she goes on to say. So apparently this is the profile picture of Tyler's boyfriend. Gay. Just crazy. Just crazy. Chris goes on to say, online trolling and lying is easy. Just say provocation shit and people will pass it like Tyler just picked up down right before the attack by 6 dudes. People are saying, see. Online trolling, lying is easy. Just say provocation stuff and people will pass it like Tyler had picked up down right before 6 dudes. People are saying, what do you mean by that? I understand like online trolling /lying is easy. That is true. Disco says, I looked it up. Are you part of that community? Please teach me. J Rabbit, what's up? Hear me out. This reminds me of the movie Zoolander. Fantastic movie. Great movie. I love an orange frappuccino. Emotional damage. Hear me out. This reminds me of the movie Zoolander when he was brainwashed from Mugatu to kill the world leaders. Yeah, it kind of feels that way. They were recruiting kids on online platforms. It's J-Rabbit, exactly. I think that's my biggest takeaway. All these like Republicans and these older people, no offense if you're older, are focusing on MSNBC being the problem. And yes, they're part of the problem, or Democrats being part of the problem. Again, I said this during the day of the Charlie Kirk assassination. I said people are not holding these online platforms accountable, where people are openly calling out for murder on some of these platforms, like Reddit, even on X, definitely Blue Sky, even Facebook. Holy crap, dude. I have been so nervous to open up my own Facebook to see some of my friends that I grew up with saying the crap that they're saying. And it's been so depressing to actually see them. As if they, like, even if you're a crazy leftist, like, just keep that junk to yourself. Maybe take a day of mourning, let people just mourn, and then come out with crazy takes in a month. But they were jumping on the opportunity to say these sorts of things. Crazy. These online platforms that create these communities that allow this kind of language and stuff to come about is the problem for the younger generations. But they want to talk about video games. They want to talk about music. They want to talk like it's these online communities led by children. And it's like the what's that book where all the kids get on the island? It's just children being led by children. You know, everything, nothing good is going to come from that. I grew up in a time where we had Halo, okay? We had Halo and we went online, and yeah, there was some racial tension and some slurs being used, but it ended right there. We didn't go into a place and then start radicalizing each other based on this. We had to voice chat it out. We couldn't just write it. People are being sucked down a rabbit hole and can't get out. That's what it definitely feels like. And it's not even they can't get out. They don't know how to get out, and they're just in it. This is their whole life, you know? Like being a part of a community for friendly neighborhood license for fish finder. Like, why is that a community? How's that a community? How's that a healthy community to be a part of if you're a kid? Even CNN, though. Even CNN is finally starting to admit, okay, maybe this guy had some left-wing ideology stuff. Lord of the Flies, thank you. That's the book I'm thinking about. That's what I feel like these online communities are. And it's just turning out to be like everyone's trans, everyone doesn't have a pronoun, because pronouns are like so yesterday. If you ask a younger kid like that's far left, like what their pronouns are, or if they're like, do you consider yourself a male? They go, I don't know. You're like, you just don't know anymore. They're like, yeah, I don't know. I just like I'm a lot of things. You're like. And they're like, "What is it? Why do I even have to choose if I'm a male or female?" That's where we're at with a lot of these kids. But even CNN is starting to admit some things.
Robinson was, quote, a little abnormal. Didn't talk to anyone.
Oh.
He was a quiet dude, and he didn't like talking unless spoken to. He stays in the back, and I knew from word of mouth from coworkers that he was not fond of Trump or Charlie Kirk, obviously. Now,
oh. Yeah, that makes him definitely far right. God. Yeah. Because anybody that knows anybody that's truly far right, their attention is solely on Charlie Kirk and Trump. No. No, God. No. They might have some disagreements or wish they did things different ways, but the idea that they're like fixated on Charlie Kirk and Trump the whole time as like they're the biggest issue of America, I don't think so. Not even close. J Rabbit said, my kid came out a few years ago under the age of 9. Holy crap. That is way too young. 9. It's like, why are kids even talking about sexuality at such a young age? And I just think it just comes from their obviously friends in online communities and stuff. That's sad to hear, man. Or woman. I don't know if you're a man or woman. My kid came out a few years ago under the age of 9. Said, I think I've caught something. I said, what? Response, transgender. I said, do you want to play with my dolls? He said, no. I said, okay. Oh, geez. Man, that's hard. Ralph says, it only hurts when they sit down to pee. Dude, again, stop knocking people who sit down to pee. Don't knock it till you try it, especially late at night. 2 a.m. 2 a.m. sitting down to pee is heaven. It only hurts when they dilate. Dear Rabbit says he was watching Mr. Beast. What the F? Now I'm like, oh my God, I just thought it was an internet misunderstanding. Is he watching old Mr. Beast or new Mr. Beast? Old Mr. Beast, I could totally understand that. Especially, and tell me which one he enjoyed more. BKL says now that's sounds like it's probably a catcher in the relationship. No, not out. Not out. He asked me a question. Oh, okay. He didn't come out, just said that. Okay, got it. What's up, Kristen? Okay. Okay, here we go. So now that the new news is that Tyler Robinson had a partner, aka a boyfriend, aka a boyfriend, aka a boyfriend, aka a boyfriend. named Lance Twigs. Twigs, dude. Look, even if you're gay, don't ever date somebody with the last name of Twigs. You don't want that in your life. Twigs. So Brian Krasenstein, who is he is a leftist and he's like a Democrat pawn, said, make it make sense. MAGA alleges that Tyler Robinson's roommate, Lance Twigs, is transgender and was in a relationship with Tyler. MAGA alleges. It's a Fox News report, idiot. It's a Fox News report that was dropped on a Saturday with the hopes that it would go under the radar. So Derek is dilating his eyes with the blue light. Am I? I don't know what's happening. Lance Twigs has been helping police all along while the heterosexual white dude murdered Charlie Kirk. Yeah. Well, if my name is Lance Twigs, I would win $100,000 too. That was my first thought. It was like, oh, so we're going to give his transgender partner $100,000. Yeah, I saw Bill Ackman saying he was going to give $1 million to find out information on the killer. Are we giving this person $1.1 million? I'm trying to win the lottery too. They're just going to pretend like it's the fault of transgender people. No, we're not. We're saying the ideology that comes from the left wing is part of the problem. And yes, transgender people in this ideology are particularly violent people. Ergo, if there is any kind of affiliation, like maybe he's dating somebody who's trans, it could ignite or it could have pushed him over the edge to do something like this. You see how they manipulate things? You see how the left, they just like to manipulate? They'll take the littlest piece of information and they'll just try to manipulate, just like, I'm just going to twist it a little bit. Just a little bit of twist. Lance Twigs sounds like a pseudonym for Lance Twigs. Yeah, I'm actually becoming transgender watching Derek. You should be. Ralph says 100K buys a lot of gerbils. Oh my God. Is gerbil still a thing in that community? I don't know too much anymore. He's so heterosexual. YouTube doesn't like the word, so I wouldn't say it. Disco, you almost made me say it, bro. I've only said that on YouTube one time. I just like, at this point, who cares? Okay, but the interesting information that came out when it comes to Brian Krasenstein is apparently Brian Krasenstein actually follows Tyler Robinson's trans lover on TikTok. What? Look at what we have here. The Krasensteins and Ed Krasen follow the alleged boyfriend of Charlie Kirk's assassin on TikTok. Oh my God. They're all part of it. They're all intertwined. And he goes on to say, your point. Your point? What does that prove? That doesn't prove anything. That doesn't prove anything. And then Michael goes on to say the shooter was in a relationship with a trans woman. He was a leftist and LGBT. Brian Krasenstein says, if you are a man who is in a relationship with a trans woman, you are in a heterosexual relationship because she is a woman and you are a man. I just can't keep up anymore, dude. I just can't freaking keep up. If you're a man who's in a relationship with a trans woman, you're a heterosexual relationship. No, you aren't, dude. No, you aren't. I'm sorry. You can try to cope with that all you want. It's like, this is so anti-gay. I've always said that these people that cope like this, they're anti-gay and they need to be shunned for it. You're gay, dude. I'm sorry. Just because my boyfriend puts on a wig doesn't make me gay. Yeah. Hey, my woman, yeah, she has all the same parts as me, but when she puts on a wig, things change, okay? There's something that happens in the quantum physical, quantum reality. It's like a Marvel thing, and you like go in time. You're not in time. You're not out of time. You're in between time. Kristen says false, and she's our authority. Dude, no, dude, you're gay, dude. It's okay. Like, I love these leftists. It's like, is this your way of coping, dude? And I know he's got a wife and kids, apparently, but yeah, I bet she's a wife. Jim Norton married a trans. Yeah, but the thing about Jim Norton, he's actually funny about it, and he can actually have a conversation about it. Hey, Shannon, thanks so much for the $4.99 super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Don't be afraid to write something in the super chat, and then you'll have Trump sing you something. The stickers, I don't know if Trump sings or not. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It means a lot. If you're a man in a relationship with a woman... So the Krasensteins are following this person. And the weirdest thing is that when you look up this dude that identifies as trans, when you look up this person does not have a big following, okay? This person doesn't have a big following. They don't have a large number of people following their accounts. It's a very niche, small account. So it begs the question, why are you following him, Ed and Brian Krasenstein? Why are you following him, you freaking weirdo? Are you trying to slide into those DMs? The Krasensteins, are they just like, hey, now that your boyfriend's locked up, can we get some? Can we slide right in? Is that okay? Can we date you too? We heard about you being a part of, what is it, the fish? What is it? Yeah, the friendly fish. We heard you were a part of the friendly fish, which means that you're passable as a woman. Oh, Brian Krasenstein. I mean, it makes sense. His voice. We get a little voice of him. Krasenstein's has one of the most feminine voices. Okay, here we go.
As you likely know by now, Charlie Kirk was just shot at Utah Valley University.
Definitely straight. Definitely, dude.
As you likely know by now, Charlie Kirk was just shot at Utah Valley University. This moment is a stark reminder that violence is never the solution, ever. Whether we...
Yeah, but you follow his boyfriend. Dude, can we talk about your earbuds? Holy crap, look at those things, man. Do you know how to wear earbuds? They're coming out like that. Who wears earbuds? Like, I think like you shouldn't trust anybody that wears earbuds like that. That's dangerous. Anybody that wears earbuds like that should be put in prison immediately. Sent to Guantanamo Bay. Send them to the alligator farm in Florida. Send them to the alligator farm in Florida just purely based on wearing those headphones. I like it that like these people are trying to cope right now. They're like, and so what I'm seeing a lot of leftists too is like, so this is the picture everyone's using to talk about Tyler Robinson's trans boyfriend who is currently transitioning. This is the picture they're all using, and they're all saying, oh, this doesn't prove he's trans. It's like, yeah, dude, this is a picture. This is a picture that they found online. You think this is a recent picture of what this person looks like right now? We found out today that he is transitioning. And this is his partner. God, it's like, they think like they take like one picture, they're like, oh, this doesn't prove he's trans. It's the same people that are like, look at this picture of him, Tyler Robinson as a kid with a Trump riding costume. They're like, oh, he's definitely MAGA. It's like, don't trust these people. Yeah, as if like one picture describes an entire narrative. Also, this does look like a furry. Okay, this does. Thank you, Shannon, for that $4.99 super chat. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. His balls definitely haven't dropped. He's way too old for his balls not to be dropped yet. I do know a lot of guys. I know a few guys in the South that talk that high, and I'm just like, dude, you are so metro. Are you sure you're not gay? Are you sure? And just because you have a very effeminate voice doesn't make you gay, by the way. Jeez. But it's very likely. Let go of my earbuds. I know what I'm doing. Is this how you do your earbuds, Raoul? You put them out like this? I can't even barely hear myself. If you date a trans woman, you're in a heterosexual relationship. If you date a trans woman, you're in a heterosexual relationship. And my headphones, the way I use my headphones, are also very heterosexual. The heteros wear them this way, idiot. Gay and trans put them in the normal flesh position in your earlobes. I'm trying to protect my ears. I got effing cauliflower ear, so earbuds are hell for me. Well, why you guys say it like that, Jesse? Now I look like a freaking beta male. Hey, I don't have cauliflower ears. I punch people, okay? I don't wrestle on the ground. That's totally gay. Okay, Jesse, you're more of a man than me. Okay, you win. You freaking win, dude. You win. Crustacean says a lot of people on X are yelling into the void, telling people how to feel and behave. Always, man. Always. Isn't it fun to do that though? A little fun. It's a little fun to get on X and tell people what to think. That's what this show is, man. I just want you to think exactly how I think all the time. Don't have your own opinions. And don't come up with your own information. Just lean on me to dictate everything you believe. Violet says, by the way, Kiguri pajamas are exclusively furry coated. See, this is why I need you in my life, Violet. Violet, you're an amazing person. I don't care what anyone says about you. I didn't know that. It looks very okay. When I was in school, when I worked at a school with middle schoolers, the far leftist kids that were a little maybe into LGBTQ stuff, they all had these pajamas, and so that makes total sense. It does feel like it's almost like this is like the Bud Light of furry culture. It's like you're not fully covering your face with a furry mask on. You're only half covering your face and body. You still want to show your true self on the inside. In like 2 more years, you get the full costume. You get the full thing. The left is misgendering always. Is Chuck E. Cheese considered a furry? Okay, you know what? What I do for a living, take it out of your mouth. Emotional damage. Just because I am the Chuck E. Cheese man doesn't mean you can go on and just start making fun of me. Okay. Rabbit says, I find it odd when they got fired and make another video about being fired. Yeah, well, they need attention, don't they? It looks comfortable. Maybe we had it all wrong. Okay, maybe the furries just were pajama enthusiasts. we just didn't know. You know, older generations use like the silk robes. Newer generations do fully furry costumes. Derek, who do you want for the New York City mayor? Curtis Silva is the greater. I think he's gonna lose. And Andrew Cuomo is the most evil. Mandani is a fraud and younger. Cooler de Blasio. Yeah, I know. Dude, Jesse. I mean, Curtis would be the total win. Don't think it's going to happen. I think Mandani is going to win, and I feel sorry for anyone that lives in New York. But at the same time, you know, it's some of these progressives, I feel like they're all talk a lot of times. They're like, free healthcare, we're gonna freeze rent, and then they get in office and they're overwhelmed. It's like AOC hasn't done very much. She's done that new green bill, but other than that, people were so afraid that she was gonna like be the voice of the whole party. It's getting a lot quieter, isn't she? We'll see. We'll see what happens. But if you're in New York, I would strongly consider getting out. If you're in New York. I don't know how much angst about these other countries piling stoke more hate. Yeah. You can't be step black and furry at the same time. That is too much. That is too much. Okay, let me go on a little bit. Trump said Silva isn't prime time because he has cats. Okay, that is... I can understand that. That's hilarious. Trump said, I'm a Republican, but not for Curtis. Silva is so cool. He's 100% prime. Silva seems like a good dude. He seems like a normal dude. He seems like kind of a goofball with the hat, but I like I like the stuff that he was doing, making the subway safe and stuff like that. Disco Bus, you guys just need somebody in New York to be normal, and that's all that matters. I mean, Cuomo is terrible, but he's not Mondowney, and I feel like you're just choosing between apples and pears at this moment. Ma'am Daniel will fail in Alien Lefties. Raul says, looks like someone who shaved his ass for their dog and made it walk backwards. Are you talking about this? That's so funny. Okay. So it gets even crazier. So we just found out. Little recap for those of you just joining. We talked about how the leftards thought this kid was MAGA. Turns out just his parents might be registered Republicans. And ergo, just because your parents are Republicans doesn't make you Republican. Then they lied about him being registered as a Republican. And they're using old pictures of him as a child to create this narrative of who he is, as opposed to seeing him who he is as an adult now. Turns out he has a partner who is his boyfriend, who is now currently transitioning into transgender. So therefore, he probably has left his views. I don't know a lot of right-wingers who are like, yeah, I'm really into trans people. I just don't, that's not a thing. And so it takes one believes this guy has left his values. Then it turns out people from his work, where he was an electrician, going to school for it, also said that he had left his views. Also, his family said that he also had left his views. So it makes one to believe he has left his views. Also, the casing said that, hey, fascists, catch this, and also had a furry culture thing reference on it. Makes one to believe he was also left-wing. These are a lot of things going against his ideology. And now that we found out all that information, the left wing has decided to no longer talk about the shooter, no longer talk about Charlie, and now they're gazing their attention on Charlie Kirk's wife at the moment. Okay, Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica Kirk, put out a video last night, kind of a hoorah, kind of like we're not going anywhere, and also talked about the beautiful relationship between her and Charlie Kirk. It was a beautiful video. I suggest everyone watch it that's interested in these sorts of things, and also just you watched a grieving widow, okay? And literally, Erica could go on last night and say whatever she wants, in my point of view. Any wife that is a widow now that is grieving her executed husband in public daylight is allowed to say whatever she wants. She can be as radical as she wants. She can be as unhinged as she wants. She can be as sad as she wants. She can make absolutely no sense. She could stumble over every single word. She could just go up there and make fart noises for all I care. It doesn't matter, okay? She's going through so much that none of us can even comprehend what that feels like or what's going on, especially being a mother of 2 young children, okay? So this idea that we need to critique anything that she does, that's an insane thought. If your first thought is, oh yeah, let's critique and mock this widow who's putting out this public statement, you are not my friend, okay? You're a bad person. You're not good. You're not being the good one. But the left has decided to turn their gaze onto Erica Kirk as if she is the next fascist leader because of some things that she said, where she said that she said this, and this is what they're all referring to. You have no idea what you just unleashed across the entire country and this world. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. And they're like, oh my God, that's violent language. Are you stupid? Are you dumb? She's talking about his message. But it didn't matter. Blixit Barry said, glad she's speaking so everyone could stop the pity for his wife because she's unsurprisingly a witch too. Joe Walsh says, my heart goes out to her, but this is an irresponsible, divisive thing to say. Who are the evildoers? Who killed your husband? Why is it they? A 22-year-old white male from Utah shot and killed your husband? We don't yet know why. Anyone out there using they or they, as in they killed Charlie, is inciting division, hate in a time when we need unity. Calm down. This is dangerous. And then Destiny, who is like the most disingenuous asshole streamer that's supposedly the moderate Democrat position, is making fun of her for putting on a post and tagging Charlie Kirk in the post. She tagged him. And then one of his followers said, it is funny, to be honest, to be fair. Is it funny? Tagging him? That's hilarious. God, I mean, these people have no empathy. They don't care. They have no empathy. They have like, none. And these are just a few posts, okay? There's hundreds of posts about them talking so much crap about Erica Charlie. And again, if Erica Charlie came out and say, I'm going to literally murder like if she went nuts, like that's her way of coping. And that's her way of grieving. like if I'm going to go full John Wick, like she is afforded all the grace in the world to do and say whatever she wants and to honor her husband in any way. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of things that she posts right now. I'm sure there'll be a lot of things that she does right now, which might seem off or on the money or a little weird or cringe or beautiful or scary or sad or angry. She is grieving. So she can say whatever she wants in my book. She can say and do whatever she wants. Michael Carley says bad. The left reaching their for straws now wants to bring up the Minnesota shooter that said Tim Waltz told him to get a clappershot, saying that he was right-wing violence and the Whitner attempting Dude, I'm seeing the left. Are you talking Minnesota shooter? Are you talking about the Minnesota shooter that shot the politicians? Is that what you're talking about? Because the things that I'm hearing is absolutely nuts. No one deserves what happened to Charlie. It doesn't matter if you agree with his views or not. Honestly, the only thing I really didn't like was the fact that most Christians want to force you to believe in God. No Christians want you to force. Bruschetta, I don't know where you've taken that from, but no, that's not a thing. Most Christians do not want to force you to believe in God. Most Christians actually know that it's such a small number of people that will go to heaven anyways. It's through the eye of the needle. You don't want to be a Christian, man. It's a life. If you're a true Christian, it's a lifetime of suffering. You have to pick up your cross and follow him. You don't want this. You got to really want it. You got to really, really, really want it. It's not always fun, and you have to take the high road as much as you possibly can, and it's a very humbling experience. It's not that people want to force you to believe in God. People want you to want to believe in God and want you to believe in God because it's a better path and it's a better way of life. And it gives you some grounding and it gives you some purpose and it gives you hope in the darkness that you have something to walk with you in the darkest times of your life. You have a friend where if you choose not to believe in God, you're by yourself and God gives you exactly what you want. If you want to be by yourself, you're by yourself. But it's a very sad place to be. RFK needs to ban blue hair dye. Yeah. Christians literally push me farther away for that very reason. What Christians? Say their name. Say their name. I'm Christian. I'm not pushing you. You do whatever you want, bruschetta. You do you, boo. Like, if you want to have a conversation about it and actually think about it, then I'm happy to talk to you. But, like, I'm not here to force anything on you. This is always your choice. Or is it your choice? It's okay when they say Trump is Hitler and all the other BS, but it's okay when they say Trump is Hitler. Oh, my God, I know. Yeah, I know. They're calling the Minnesota senator shooting right-wing. Oh, I know. Calling the Minnesota senator shooting right-wing is totally idiotic. The guy worked for Tim Waltz. Okay? If he's right-wing, he's not working for Tim Waltz. They vet those people. You have job interviews on these sorts of things. They're not going to, if you go into a Tim Waltz interview and go, I want to work with you, Tim Waltz. I want to work with your campaign. I want to be on your side, man. And they go, are you a big MAGA guy? Yeah, I'm a huge MAGA guy. They're not going to hire you, dude. What the frick are you talking about? Hey, what's up, Justin? A state senator just announced a bill to put Charlie Kirk statue in the University of Minnesota. Very interesting. Wilson, what's up? Missed the show. I'll watch when I get home tonight. Hope you're having a great night. Hey, I'm having a great night. I am having a great night. Bruschetta, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Some Christians are very authoritarian when it comes to their views. Okay? I'll give you the benefit. There are some, but to say most, I think is being disingenuous. And maybe it's just the most that you've gone in contact with. Maybe that's a problem. But you're on this show, okay? We curse a little bit. We're on edge, and we ain't perfect. And we and I don't want you to be like me. Violet says, I've been part of the internet community for quite a while now, and nobody has tried to convert me. Yeah, see, exactly. If you want to be, if you're interested in it, let's talk. But if you don't want to be, I'm not gonna force you to live like me. Do you think telling somebody how to live is gonna make them live right? Dude, have you ever met anybody? It's like walking up to an addict and saying, "Hey, have you ever thought about stop drinking?" Yeah, say Christ is Lord. I had to go to church by my stepmother. Okay, see, that's your problem. You had to go with your stepmom. Dude, I had evil stepmoms growing up, and they were all bad. It's the way it is. I agree Christianity is a good path, but it's me fake praying every night. The right path? No, don't fake pray. I wouldn't do it. Don't pray. Don't pray unless you want to. Get your heart in the right place. Only if you want to. Repent now, Violet. Repent now. Okay. The funny thing too is to watch these Democrats cope right now. And maybe it's not funny. It's actually insane. And they honestly think that none of their rhetoric it makes paranoid schizophrenics or sociopaths choose to follow orders and commit horrible crimes on their behalf. Here's Nancy Pelosi coping in this moment.
People don't have any intention of saying something that's going to lead to something dangerous.
Yeah, people have no intention of saying anything that leads to something dangerous. That being said, Donald Trump is a fascist dictator, and white supremacy is the biggest problem in America. God. Shut up, you freaking nut. Also, Nancy, please DM me Nancy Pelosi. I need to know your trades. DM me your trades, and I will never talk about you again. I'll be on your side forever.
People don't have any intention of saying something that's going to lead to something dangerous, but we cannot take responsibility for the minds that are out there and how they hear it.
Other Democrats are...
Yeah, exactly. You can't take responsibility at all. Yeah. And I like this idea too of I'm not gonna slow my rhetoric until Donald Trump does. It's like, what is Donald Trump saying that makes people want to kill somebody? That's nuts. It's not a thing. Except if you're on the other side and you can't cope with somebody having a different point of view than you. J Rabbit says Jesus comes when you least expect it. That is definitely true. And sometimes when you definitely hope to expect it. But some evangelicals can come off as off-putting. That's true. Okay, I'll pull it back a little bit. I would just say this, Bruschetta, I would say this about Christians. We're not always good representations of Christ. And so don't ever put your hope in human beings, is what I would say, because we will fail every time. I'm not a good representation. I try my best. I do the best every time, but there's a thing called grace. And grace is what makes me keep going back and being so thankful, because I cannot save myself. Because if it was up to me, I would not do well. Just being honest, just being real. Even Paul in the letters said, don't try to be like me, be like Christ. So I say the same thing. Don't try to be like Christians, be like Christ. Don't be like a Christian, be like Christ. I met God when I was 6 foot tall, rapping Visible Harley Covenant. I didn't ask to be born again, but I did surrender. Let's go. Let's go, dude. It's gonna be so freaking fired up. Wasn't it dangerous for you to get your hair done during COVID? Yeah, it was dangerous. Okay. And my favorite, Jasmine Crockett on Breakfast Club with Charlamagne the God from my hometown of Charleston, South Carolina, is calling out Jasmine Crockett and her rhetoric, and she can't cope with it.
I think we all incite whether we think we do or not. And what I mean by that is I've definitely, called that regime, fascists, right?
Yeah.
If you hear somebody call him Hitler, or when he calls us racist.
What was that? What was that? What was that? Wiping a little cocaine off your nose?
Yeah.
If you hear somebody call. And what I mean by that is I've definitely, called that regime fascist, right?
Yeah.
If you hear somebody call him Hitler, or when he calls us racist scumbags.
Yeah.
Who's calling you a racist scumbag? This is like the thing that like grinds my gears is like you hear this a lot by these like idiots online that do these media platforms. It's a right and a left thing if we could be honest. No, it's not. It's not a right and a left thing. It's primarily a left thing. The right will say this. I'm guilty of this. I'll say the left is insane. I'll say they're crazy. I'll say they're nuts. I'll say they're liars. But I'm not saying that like they're hate speech and they literally want to kill me. And I'm not like Nancy Pelosi or what's her face telling people to pick up a weapon. I have that clip too as well.
Cite whether we think we do or not. And what I mean by that is,
hey, what's up, Bruschetta? Thank you. Appreciate you. Yes, you're welcome. Everyone's views are welcome here. We're an open book. We're not a authoritarian place. Redheads in South Carolina, unicorn. Yeah, true. Covenant. Hate our government. I kind of hate our government too.
Think we do or not. And what I mean by that is
Charlemagne the devil. I had to look up the definition of fascist because I hate to tell you, it does not define the leaning common sense. No, it doesn't. No, words don't have meaning anymore.
We do or not. And what I mean by that is I've definitely, called that regime fascist, right?
Yeah.
If you hear somebody call him Hitler, or when he calls us racist scumbags.
Yeah.
If there's some white supremacist lunatic who thinks you or me are a racist scumbag, let me take that racist scumbag out. If there's somebody that thinks, oh, Hitler, and then they look at a lot of the actions that are going on, they're like, well, let's prevent this before 4 million people get killed. So I can understand how all of it incites violence.
Yeah, no, I could see it, but
I can see that, but he is actually Hitler. What are you talking about, dude? What are you, nuts? Yeah. Maybe that's a little face of self-reflection. But probably not. Probably not. I like that he's like looking at her like, what you about to say? I wish this clip wasn't cut. I feel like I need to find this whole clip. Jason, why don't you show us the whole clip, bruh?
One of these higher offices.
Oh, wait.
We've got to talk about like what it means when you're running for president or you're running for one of these higher offices and you go out there and you talk about beating people up. You go out there and you say things like, I could shoot somebody in the middle of the street in New York and I could still win. We got to talk about like that is next level. Mm-hmm. Me disagreeing with you, me calling you, I want to be Hitler. All those things are like not necessarily saying go out and hurt somebody. But when you're literally...
What?
About like what it means when you're running for president or you're running for one of these higher offices and you go out there and you talk about beating people up. You go out there and you say things like, I could shoot somebody in the middle of the street in New York and I could still win. We got to talk about like that is next level. Mm-hmm. Me disagree.
He's not telling people to go shoot somebody. You know that and you're being disingenuous is what is actually happening, right? Come on.
Or the street in New York and I could still win. We got to talk about like that is next level. Mm-hmm. Me disagreeing with you, me calling you, I want to be Hitler. All those things are like not necessarily saying go out and hurt somebody. But when
Yeah. Me calling you a wannabe Hitler, I'm not saying for people to go out and hurt you. Yeah, but if you're worried that Hitler is taking over and there's a fascistic government taking over, I think if you were a little bit crazy, you would start to think certain thoughts, right? Right? Calling somebody actually Hitler, who we've been programmed our entire life for good reason. There's not you never hear about the horrors of communism. All you hear about is how bad Hitler was and the Democrat socialists of Germany. That's all you ever hear about. Like you never hear about the evils of communism in school growing up. So when you call somebody Hitler, it has ramifications. Yes, it does. I'm sorry. For the average normie, that creates ramifications. When I call somebody an evil commie, it doesn't hit as hard as somebody saying that person is trying to be like Hitler. It just doesn't, because people don't know about communism as much as they know about Hitler. You know exactly what you're doing, boo. You know exactly what you're doing, okay? Painful to listen to? Yeah, 100%. I'm losing IQ just listening to her? Yeah, right. You're gaining IQ. She's a genius. Maxine Waters' video, she has a lot of confrontation guidance. Yeah. Get in their face. Get in their face.
You're literally telling people at rallies, yeah, beat them up. And that.
What? Donald Trump is telling people to beat people up in rallies? You know, when people just say things with no consequences or no fact checks, this is what happens. And they're worried about people on X not being fact checked. This is more dangerous. When people are, oh, okay, yeah, Donald Trump is saying that word. Yeah, he is bad. He does say bad things.
Rallies, yeah, beat them up. And that kind of stuff, like you are promoting like a culture of violence. So we need to talk about like what it looks like when you don't promote a culture of violence.
I mean, I want her to run for president so bad, it's not even funny. She is literally might be the dumbest politician, and people praise her. It's incredible. It's just incredible. They are communists, exactly. Exactly. J Rabbit, the Maxine Waters video. She is disingenuous, says Jessica. I totally agree. I totally freaking agree. She's the worst. All right, guys. I hope this hour and 50 minutes has been a great hour and 15 minutes of your life. I've had fun with every single one. Thank you so much for coming here. We don't do a lot of live streams on Saturdays, so it felt good to go live. And this news drop, I was just like, we got to talk about this. This is ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. The guy is left wing, okay? You don't have that on your casings, and you have roommates, and you're dating a trans person transitioning, and then everyone around you is saying that you have leftist views, including your grandma and people that you worked with. If you grew up in a Republican homes, okay, but you are a leftist now. Because a lot, and this happens to a lot of us, when we leave our homes as a kid and go out into the world on our own, we develop our own opinions on things. And especially in your early 20s, you're very staunch in your beliefs, even if they're based on feelings, unfortunately. Because when you're young, in your early 20s, we all were very, very serious about our beliefs. And our beliefs are right, and everyone else is wrong. It's an early 20-year-old thing, and if you believe that these people are fascists and you need to take them out, you're gonna do that. I was late. I'll watch it now. Hey, Jessica, no problem. Thanks so much for being here. You helped me process the crazy. Hey, thanks, Chris Station. I appreciate you. Thanks so much. Thanks, Big D. Take care. Hey, you take care too. I'm gonna go finish watching Texas A&M versus the Notre Dames. Good show. Thanks so much, Michael. I put a lot of work into this. It means a lot. Thanks so much, man. That's exactly what they're doing. Yes, 100%. Fascism is only right-wing if you're communist. Yeah, exactly, dude. If you guys don't mind dropping a like on this video and putting a comment below, it helps me out and helps the algorithms out. By putting a comment below, it just tells YouTube or Rumble or whatever you're watching on, if you're watching on X as well, it promotes it higher up in the algorithm. It just makes it seem like the video is more interesting. So if you find this video interesting, take some time and do that. That's a way of helping me and supporting this show, especially if you can't help out financially. I'd greatly appreciate that. Better late than never. True. Wear a furry costume tomorrow. Dude, I don't have a furry costume. I need to get one. I need to get a furry costume. Maybe I'll start the first furry Republican group. The first furry Republican group. Not after today. Not anymore. We got to let the dust settle before we start making those silly of jokes. Good game? Okay, I'm going to go watch it. I'm going to go eat some pizza. Enjoy the night. Thanks so much for being here. You guys are amazing. I appreciate every single one of you guys. It's real as gay.